Summary of the novel, The Stranger. Author, Albert Camus. Chapter 1, Meursault's Quiet Life. The story begins when Meursault receives a brief telegram from the nursing home announcing his mother's death. He shows no grief as society expects, only requests 2 days off and returns to work. Despite the stifling Algiers heat making him tired, he remains indifferent, not dwelling on the loss. Meursault attends his mother's funeral at the nursing home, meeting the director, who speaks of her death in a cold, formal tone, as if it were a mere procedure. This mirrors society's apathy, aligning with Meursault's attitude. He sheds no tears or shows sorrow, feeling only exhaustion from the lengthy rituals. He refuses to open the coffin to see his mother one last time, focusing on the heat, scorching sunlight, floral scents, and physical discomfort. He observes Thomas Perez, his mother's friend, limping in the sun in a dark suit, eyes red from crying. Meursault does not share this emotion, only wishing for the rituals to end quickly. He seeks no meaning in the funeral, remaining detached, longing to return and rest. Meursault lives a monotonous life, without ambition or grand goals. He goes to work, returns home, eats, and focuses only on personal needs. He builds no deep relationships or engages with society, events simply happen without special significance. He exists detached from society, unconcerned with tomorrow, unaffected by memories or emotions. Meursault lives in the present, not seeking life's meaning. To him, everything is equal, with no distinction between good and bad. Chapter 2, Days after the funeral and the relationship with Marie. The day after his mother's funeral, Meursault resumes his routine. He goes swimming and meets Marie Cardona, a former colleague, at the beach. They watch a comedy film and begin a romantic relationship. He is unconcerned about dating so soon after the funeral. They laugh and enjoy their time together. Meursault feels comfortable in the moment but does not think deeply about the relationship. Their bond quickly becomes physical. He ignores curious glances in the cinema, remaining indifferent. When Marie asks if he loves her, Meursault says he thinks not, but it doesn't matter, and he'd marry her if she wants. He speaks bluntly, not hiding or trying to please her. He sees no difference between marrying or not, a sign of his indifference to societal values. Meursault meets some neighbors at his apartment, including Raymond Since. Raymond talks about his Arab mistress and asks Meursault to write an insulting letter to lure her back for revenge. Meursault agrees without much thought, unconcerned about the consequences. He witnesses Raymond beating his mistress, hearing her cries and screams, but feels no emotion or outrage. When the police arrive, Meursault serves as a witness, remaining neutral. Raymond is injured, but Meursault is unbothered, neither intervening nor judging Raymond's actions. He becomes a passive companion in Raymond's world. His relationships with Marie and Raymond continue. He lives in the present, unaffected by memories or worries, observing and accepting events without distinguishing right from wrong. Chapter 3, Life as a Series of Events. Meursault continues his life in Algiers, unconcerned with anything beyond daily routines. He wakes early, drinks coffee, goes to work, and cares little for life's changes. Everything is a familiar repetition, without goals or aspirations. His relationship with Marie progresses smoothly. They swim and dine together, without plans or expectations. He doesn't think about the future, living only for the present. Marie wants marriage, but Meursault neither commits nor refuses. After his mother's death, he feels an odd emptiness but is not deeply affected. At the office, he works mechanically, uninterested in colleagues or conversation. He lives as an outsider, keeping society at a distance. Meursault joins Raymond and his friend Masson for an outing. They clash on the beach with 2 Arabs, one being the brother of Raymond's mistress. Meursault doesn't directly join the fight but gets drawn into Raymond's world from here. Raymond is slightly injured, and the group rests at Masson's house. Meursault feels unaffected, continuing his indifference. He neither judges nor seeks meaning in events. To him, everything simply happens, tomorrow no different from today. Chapter 4, Involvement in a Crime. Raymond gives Meursault a gun for self-defense, a detail later used as evidence in court. Meursault's earlier help with Raymond's revenge letter contributes to the ensuing tragedy. Raymond, injured in the incident, is angry and seeks revenge, but Meursault is indifferent, feeling no regret. The day after the clash, he returns to the beach alone. Under the scorching sun, he encounters the Arab again. The Arab draws a knife. The sunlight reflecting off the blade stings Meursault's eyes, sweat drips, and his mind is tense. He feels out of control and fires the gun, the first shot a reaction to the light and knife, the next for an unconscious release. Meursault stands still after shooting, neither panicked nor guilty. Everything seems to stop. He is arrested on the beach and taken to prison. He feels no disgust or remorse for his actions. His relationship with Marie becomes complicated. She visits, asking about the future, but Meursault is unconcerned. He remains passive, not judging Raymond or himself. The Arab's death is just an event to him, nothing more, nothing less. Chapter 5, Life and Legal Conflicts. Meursault is arrested and undergoes investigation. He remains indifferent, feeling no regret or guilt for the killing. During interrogations, he answers briefly, not trying to justify himself. A lawyer is assigned, but Meursault is uninterested in legal strategies. The prosecutor portrays Meursault as immoral, emphasizing his ties with Raymond and his indifference after his mother's death as key evidence. His lack of tears, drinking coffee, smoking by the coffin, and watching a comedy film soon after the funeral are seen as damning proof. At the trial, the prosecutor emphasizes that Meursault fired 4 shots after the first, when the victim was already down. This is seen as cruel and callous. Meursault does not react to the accusations, feeling neither anxious nor angry. He merely observes the proceedings, like an outsider. The defense lawyer mentions the scorching heat and blinding light causing Meursault to lose control, but this argument fails to sway the jury. Meursault neither objects nor actively cooperates. For him, the trial is just a procedure, devoid of moral or emotional weight. Chapter 6, The Trial and the Image of an Outsider in Society. The trial continues with public attention. Meursault is seen as an outsider, not just for his crime but for defying emotional norms. The prosecutor not only condemns the killing but highlights his indifference at his mother's funeral as a sign of immorality. Witnesses, from nursing home staff to friends, describe Meursault as apathetic, unfit for moral standards. Small acts like smoking by the coffin or watching a comedy become grounds for conviction. Meursault does not object, feeling only tired and lost in a legal drama. He sees the trial as a game where everyone plays a role. He doesn't grasp the rituals or try to explain himself, as if the truth need not be spoken. Ultimately, the death sentence is pronounced, not just for the murder but because Meursault is seen as a stranger to society. His failure to show expected emotions makes him a threat in the community's eyes. Chapter 7, Facing Death and Accepting Life's Absurdity. Sentenced to death, Meursault is confined in a cell, living his final days in silence. Initially, he fears and hopes for a miraculous reprieve. But gradually, he accepts death as inevitable. He abandons hope, seeing it as an unnecessary burden. He thinks of his mother, how she lived her final days peacefully in the nursing home. Her serenity helps him realize, death need not be tragic, it's just part of life. He finds peace in letting go of expectations. A priest tries to persuade Meursault to repent. He refuses, angry at the idea of feigning faith. He chooses to live and die true to his belief, that life is absurd, without salvation, and truth lies in accepting this. On his final night, Meursault listens to the city's sounds, feeling the night's scent, gentle breeze, and whispers of life. He imagines the crowd at his execution, not to be pitied, but to feel his final presence in the world. For Meursault, the ultimate victory is not survival but living authentically. He faces death without fear or deceit, finding absolute freedom in embracing life's absurdity.